What's up, Big Steve?
It's Brittany, bitch. Not really. It's Big Steve. We bet on MMA here. If it's your first time listener on this show, we'll look at early upcoming betting odds, right? Obviously with minimum research. And then later on a week, I'll have another show where I've done more tape, have bets locked in and whatnot. Right. For that part, I'll have a special guest, special first-time guest. Hasn't been on in a while. Well, he's never been on, actually, in the 3 years that I've done this. And I had many, many guests. He's a funny guy, got a massive following, so I'm looking forward to that. But for this, usually I don't have many bets on the early teas, but I do for this one. I have 2 units. We made money again this week, and I'm feeling locked in. The lack of sleep has kind of become my standard. My body's adjusted, and I'm feeling locked in. Icelandic farts, we made it. I have a few more subscribers this last few days. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because I've started giving out more of my picks on Twitter. Maybe because I had a lot more bets on these last couple of weeks. But hey, if there's bets, I'll lock them in. I try to give out as many picks for free on Twitter. This is a giving show. That's what it's all about. I'm not a tout. I'll never be a tout. I've been approached many, many times. So maybe that's why. But keep on subscribing. When I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll give something away to the listeners. But let's get through this little recap. It's been a while since we've done a recap. Sometimes we do a recap on the early teas. So let's do it. Won't be too long. And then if you stick around till the end, I'm going to do an early tease for KSW. KSW Polish promotion, my favorite and best performing promotion, hands down. The ROI, the profit, it's insane, and it's a really good card. So stick around. Alrighty. Let's start with LFA, right? I had a 3-unit bet. Richard Martins, Del Mondes, I had a 3-unit bet on the under 1.5. This is the only bet I didn't give out for free on Twitter because it was $1.56, and by the time I gave it out on Twitter and in my Discord and hit it myself, it was $1.15. Insane line movement. It made it to round 2, which this Del Montes guy is a bum. He hasn't been to round 2 in like 10 years, and he still couldn't continue because his leg hurt from a check calf kick. Right, so that was a smash spot. I was winning $900 from that, but last minute I locked this other under 1.5 on Reginaldo Jr. and that didn't hit, and that really pissed me off. So I lost $600 there. So instead of making $900 on a generational under 1.5 rounds bet, I only made $300. So that kind of peed me off. Then I really liked Shannon Clark, and because I was peed off, I passed. But nothing new there. I do things like this all the time. Alrighty, let's quickly go to 1FC. 1FC. Right, just had one bet. I had this one money line bet, I should say. I had this Avzad Kolzaev guy, $1.60, 1 unit. It should have been more, but he took him down, rinsed them. I gave this out on Twitter as well. I hope the people cashed. I had actually an under in this Lido, but it's on a bookie that not many people have unders. So I cashed as well. I do like one, especially one Friday fight night. It's got a lot of value on it, and this might be one of the last 1FC cards we get because one of the ones coming up might be the last 1FC card we're getting because it's got 3-4 title fights, Muay Thai title fights, so it might be going out of business. You never know. Alrighty. What else? I feel like there was something else this week. Maybe not. All right, let's go to the UFC. So the UFC, look, I made $1,000. I put that I made $20 on Twitter, and that's for the stuff that I gave out and the stuff that I tipped. But I'll talk about that later. But basically, I had it under 1.5 in the Zach Reese fight. I passed on that. I cashed out. I had a bad feeling about it. Like, I don't know if Jackson McVeigh, was really as much of a bum as I thought he was. He almost won that fight. I didn't really give him much finishing upside either, and he almost knocked out Zachary Reese. Ultimately, he went under, but there was a lot of clinching in round 1, and that's the reason why I cashed out, and no regrets there. David Marcos Johns, I didn't get involved in this fight. Denise Gomez, I had a full unit on Gomez KO, no scorecards. I did say that if Pennington kept coming in, if the money kept coming in, I would actually lay the chalk on Gomez. I didn't really like Tisha's upside as a 37-year-old, 38-year-old. And 30-27 for Denise Gomez, it's been a while since she won a 30-27, over someone decent. So I do regret not laying the money line. I know people are always scared of women's chalk, but that was the one. So just break even there because she didn't get a KO. Josh Hockett, all right? I posted on Twitter that this guy is a bum. I had over half rounds on that. The bookie had it under 1.5 and then changed it to half a round for Pick'em. And I was like, man, it's a little bit sweaty because I can see Max getting knocked out. He's so slow, so lumbering. And I was like, oh, but I have to take advantage. Half a round. He just has to survive 2.5 minutes. So I had a unit on that. Didn't even survive. I said I should play the KO. I didn't play the KO. So that's unfortunate. That would have been an easy hedge. I could have played the under 1.5. So there's a couple of reasons why I didn't really profit massively. But it is what it is. But I also had Josh Hockett in a parlay with, Morales, who fought match now. So we'll move on. Cavalcanti, Montevideo, Silva, I just had like $50 on Silva submission out of FOMO. Didn't really have any high hopes or anything. Haoni Barcelos, Ricky Simone. I had Ricky Simone KO no scorecards. I am playing a lot of these KO no scorecards, and I used to hate them. Same as the handicaps. I'm just kind of pivoting towards them. But hey, they're proving to be okay, I haven't been burned by one yet. So obviously that pushed as well. But it's better than playing the under. I was really tempted in the under, and it would have just been another tilting, under plus money under in the Haoni Barcelos fight. Sometimes he looks washed, sometimes his chin holds up. He looked amazing in this fight, and Ricky Simone's chin held up too, so that would have pissed me off. Jamal Emmers, Haider Amir. This is the only bet that I kind of really regret. I played ends round 1 and 2. As I said, my friend played the pick'em under 2.5 rounds. A lot of people did. It got steamed. I didn't really like it, so I held off. That should have been a sign not to force anything. So I played 1-2. It wasn't much of a worse price than Pick'em anyway. It was like $1.70. And basically, Haider Amir looked extremely gassed in round 1. And if he's going to be that gassed, he's not really going to be able to push the pace to knock someone out. And couldn't really get up when Jamal Emmers took him down. So that was unfortunate. I lost like $400 there. Then I played Christian Leroy Duncan. No scorecards. KO no scorecards. Plus money, insane. Honestly, I thought he was the only one that had KO upside. Tulio's been KO'd before. I said after one fight of tape, I was like, yeah, Christian Duncan has to be the play. And because I didn't play the money line, I was like, please knock him out. It's going to piss me off so much if Duncan wins a 30-27 and I don't have any money line. I just had the no scorecard, which pushes. And he knocks him out in round 2. I was celebrating that one. So I won $400 there. Chris Padilla, I just played, again, no scorecards on Chris Padilla because, there was some injury rumors about Ismail Bonfim. I didn't think either of these guys was going to get finished. But if anyone was, I thought Chris Padilla is way tougher. And, it could have been a rear naked choke. It could have been a KO. And it kind of reminded me of the Zhu Rong fight, which I was on the wrong side of in round 2. It looked like Bonfim was getting broken with the leg kicks and the pressure. And, $600 on that full unit to win 300 and something. And then one of my bigger bets, Uroš Medic more than a unit to win 500 on the 1.5. I gave this on Twitter too. Maybe because I'm giving all these free bets, I'm getting some good fortune, but who knows? And 1 minute and 3 second KO, just like his last fight against Gilbert Urbina, 1 minute and 3 second KO, back-to-back fights. That's some crazy stuff, right? So easy money there. I probably should have gone a bit more there, but it's just like I got burned with the Muslim Salikov under 2.5 rounds against Ponzinibbio. They were just staring at each other, dancing around. But Uroš is a different animal. So Joseph Morales versus Matt Schnell. Obviously, Morales closed out my parlay. I won $300 and something there. But I had a same game parlay of Morales plus 1 takedown at almost pick'em. And I only had half a unit on it. And I said it's because sometimes he doesn't even get takedowns. He pulls guard, he loses position, he sweeps. And go figure, Matt Schnell took him down. He swept, submitted him. And I lost half a unit there, which was the profit for my parlay with Hockett and Morales. So I didn't make any money there. And then the main event, I said I liked the under 1.5. I didn't play it. Bonfim gets him out of there in the second round. So end of the day, let's look at the recap. End of the day, I said it was like $20, but I got $1,000 because of some other motives from regarding a bookie that was chatting to me. I can't really discuss it on air, but it could have been much better. The Hockett Morales parlay really should have been a 2-3 unit bet. The Morales different kind of inside the distances and Hockett KO should have just been a nice little 1 unit play just to cover the over 1.5 a round. So if you have a look at it, 14,500 in November. slight losing month, the third losing month of the year since January, February, and that really annoyed me because I've been losing my ass on UFC then. That's when my newborn came, and now after all, Octagon, UFC, LFA, one UFC again, we're on over 17,000, so close to 20k again. That's my bare minimum, and that's about 30 something units. It'll be 35 or so. But if I get 30k, 25k, it is what it is. As I said, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. As long as I can keep doing this financially, as long as I have the bankroll, as long as I can increase my units and have fun, that's all that matters. So we'll keep the train rolling. I'm locked in. I'm actually really locked in. So we have a pay-per-view. We have a pay-per-view that I'm G'd up for. It's my boy Jack Della Maddalena. And we have KSW, my favorite promotion, and it's a really, really high-level card. We're going to ease up. We're going to do a lot of tape. And we're not going to force anything early in the week. And then we're going to have another good weekend and get it as close to 20k as possible. And I'm going to try to give out as many free bets on Twitter as I can. If you want early bets, stuff that I can't give out because the line is moved, jump in the Discord. If not, it is what it is. I've been chucking people in the Discord for slightly cheaper, people that need a little bit of a push, that want to see if it's worth it for them. I don't mind doing that. It's not about taking your money. It's about, let's see, will you enjoy this? Will this be a profitable space for you? And then if you don't like it, that's fine. If you do like it, then you can join. All right. That's enough waffling. Let's look at the comments and let's get into the breakdown. Richard, I like Chepe as a dog. We'll talk about that one, mate. I actually taped that fight in depth. Let's shout out Big Steve for that easy Medic under. Closed minus 150 on my book for some reason. Yeah, there's always weird oversteam on unders. So if you miss out on a good under 1.5, like literally the day of the fights, some jobber out there is playing overs on UFC and you can hit him. Icelandic parts. I was on Barcelos. But you were also on Salikov, yep. The duality of a man. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. Let's really hope we get one more Schnell fade. I think that's it, mate. I think that's retirement. George, well done, mate. I don't think I've seen you in here for a while. Thank you very much for being in here. An ex-Big Brain MMA Discord member. All right. Hope to see you back one day. If not, doesn't matter. I don't want anyone in there that doesn't benefit, so we can always chat outside of the Discord. All right, let's get into it. Excited about this card. Vladislav Boyshev versus Matheus Camilo. They added this fight last minute. It's interesting. I don't know what to make of it. I was chatting about this fight with some friends in the Discord, and it's like, oh, yeah, volatile. Camilo's a quitter. Boyshev's chinny. Camilo can probably get him out of there. But if he doesn't, Camilo that has bad cardio, but usually gets taken advantage of with submissions. And Slava is a striker with no submissions. So Slava is quite washed. I used to think he has good submission defense. Right, but he's finally getting submitted now. Chase Hooper, Terrence McKinney, but he did get out of a really, really deep Tom Nolan Darce choke. So I still think he has good submission defense, but I don't know, weird fight. And as far as I know, we don't have any odds on this. So yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. I have a feeling that the under is going to be chalky here, and I have a feeling like I won't like it. Right, I won't like it. It might be a bit of fool's gold. Alrighty. Chepe Mariscal versus Pat Sabatini. So one of you lads already asked me, and I'll take this one because I know a few people on both sides, and I thought, let me see if I can get an edge here. And these guys already fought, obviously. I don't know if you knew that, but early in the regional days, it was a back and forth fight. It played out pick'em. It was basically both guys getting takedowns. Pat was getting takedowns. Chepe was getting up, judo tossing him all over the place, and Pat was getting up and reversing him, and it was just like that back and forth. Chepe was landing all the ground and pound, and Pat Sabatini was just doing all the clinching and grinding. So basically, I don't see any difference in these guys' fighting style. Some people are saying Pat has better control now. I mean, he's controlling Joe Anderson Brito and Lucas Almeida and whatnot. Maybe that's the case. I mean, he's 35. How much better is he at 35? He was already an elite jiu-jitsu practitioner. And again, Chepe hasn't really fought many solid grapplers like Pat Sabatini. Like he did beat Zalal as well on the regionals. I remember back then I was like, man, this guy needs to be in the UFC. But after a few losses, it looked like it was never going to happen. But yeah, I mean, I was going to lock in Chepe because watching his fights with Damon Jackson and Ricardo Ramos, it's the same guy. They try to take him down. He throws him around. He judo tosses him. He lands ground and pound in transitions. Even Morgan Charrier took him down, and he should have lost that fight. Technically, it looked like he was going to lose it, but because whenever Chepe reversed him, he landed a few ground and pound shots before the round ended, and damage versus control. That's what the judges wanted. So plus Pat Sabatini, he has a bad chin too. So how much will that ground and pound affect him? He beat the crap out of Damien Jackson, Chepe, but he came in overweight there and washed, retiring, extremely fragile Damien Jackson. A little bit of a different matchup, although Pat is quite fragile himself. So I don't know. I was going to lock in Chepe, and then I held off, and now money's coming in on Sab. So it could just be Pick'em once again, and I don't really want to force it just yet. So we'll wait. I've done the tape, and now I'm going to let it simmer a little bit, and we'll see what read I'll get later on in the week. Alrighty then. Chepe versus Sabatini one was razor close. Correct. He played out Pick'em, and this could potentially play out Pick'em too. The reason I'm passing is because, in round 3 in that fight, and in round 3 versus Damien Jackson, Chepe just started grappling and going for the back and getting reversed. And even the commentator was like, why is he doing that? Why is he going for the back when he was doing great just stuffing and throwing punches? So he's capable of doing that. Like, he can get tired as well himself. So in round 3, if he plays that game with Pat could just win the fight with random takedowns at the end of the round or something. So alrighty. Malcolm Wellmaker the Machine versus Cody Haddon. I love this fight. In my opinion, Cody Haddon is the better prospect. He's younger. He's 27. He has more than just one punch KO power, which Malcolm Wellmaker does. I don't think Malcolm Wellmaker is the best minute winner. Although, he has quit his job. He's now full-time in the UFC. He's still young. 31 is not old. So maybe this is where he makes big improvements, big leaps and bounds in his game. So I don't think we have odds for this fight either. So there's nothing more to discuss. Right. From a picks perspective, don't know. I feel like this is going to be Pick'em, and I feel like I most likely want to get involved at Pick'em because it kind of reminds me of the Cameron Simon versus Malcolm fight, where Simon was doing well. He was kicking and moving, outlanding him. He got landed on once, he died. Cody, I need to look at his chin. He hasn't fought any big hitters other than Steve Erceg in his one loss. And Steve Erceg was moving up in weight on short notice, and he still outdogged Cody Haddon. So, but that was a while back. Cody's more than 5 years ago. So Cody was a young kid. So we'll move on because there's no odds. Wonder with the line, Haddon, Wallmaker. I think it's going to be Pick'em, personally. Wallmaker minus 300, I'd bet. You would bet Wallmaker minus 300, or you would bet Haddon if Wallmaker is a massive favorite? I wouldn't be touching that line. Yeah, he's got so much hype. He does have hype, but so does Cody. But interesting that there's two Aussies on this card. Is this? Yeah, this is in Madison Square Garden. Alrighty. By the way, I do have on that obscure book that had half a round option for the Hockett fight. They have some totals as well. So they're not even out on Bet Online. They're not even on Fight Odds. So I'll reference those totals on the fights that are available, and let's see what I like. So right now the Jose Mariscal Pat Sabatini, it's 1.5 and it's minus 200, which obviously should be value, I guess, but I'm not really interested. I don't really play those kind of totals. And yeah, that's all we have. Let's move on. Alrighty. Now this is a fight. Roman Kapilov, Gregory Rodriguez. These two guys, one of the better guys outside the middleweight division in terms of ranking. And they're probably, both these guys have knocked, and they might be knocking on the ranking door. I mean, Gregory Rodriguez, number 15, he just beat a ranked Jack Hermanson, put him in the shadow round. Maybe he's ranked already. And he beat Christian Leroy Duncan, which aging well. He did what Tulio tried to do today and failed. So muscled him up, 30-27 them as an underdog as well. So yeah, this is an interesting fight. I understand why Gregory Rodriguez is minus 200. Let me have a look. But yeah, close to minus 200. But yeah, the guy has a bad chin, and he's fighting a kickboxer that's much faster than him, slicker, and can light him up, can absolutely light him up. Now, he's already lost to Armin Petrosyan, someone of a similar matchup, but I think the issue with Roman Kopylov is he's quite hittable as well. He sticks and moves, but he kind of slows down, he's sittable, and I reckon if he slows down in rounds 2 and 3 and he allows Gregory Rodriguez to pressure him and land that brutal 1-2, it could be in a shadow round again. Paulo Costa dropped him. He was a decent sized favorite there. That was a good comeback for Paulo. Kind of regret not playing that. My boy Pepe played it, and Dogfather, props to them. Chris Curtis, that was a close fight. He was kind of losing till he wasn't. Cesar Almeida split. Yeah, Gregory should be the favorite, man, because he can grapple him, he can knock him out. But yeah, it's just hard. Do I play this line on Gregory? It is an easier matchup than Jack Hermansson. Maybe it's a tougher matchup than Jack Hermansson. Jack Hermansson's more well-rounded, and he'll stick and move and probably has a better chin and better ground game and better cardio, actually. Yeah, I reckon this is easier, but Roman is more dangerous. If he's going to get an upset KO over Gregory, it's going to be Roman Kopylov. So, yeah, it's Gregory or pass for me, and I do have an obscure total on one of the books, and I'm pretty sure it's a 1.5. It's a 1.5 rounds, and what do we got? Pick 'em. Let me have a look. Did Gregory go over the 1.5 last time? Yes, he killed Hermansson in round 1. Dennis Tallulah in round 1. The Hulk knocked him out in round 1. Chidi and Njokuani under 1.5. Yeah, this could be it. This could be the play. Paul Acosta dropped Kopylov round 1 too. Yeah, really, if he fights smart, if Gregory fights smart, he really should run through Kopylov. But we'll see. Kopylov has great footwork, and he can fight great on the back foot. We'll do more tape on that one. Alrighty, let me have a little sip of my milk chai, and I'll look at the comments, and we'll continue on. Let's probably going to bet Robocop sub and kick myself again. Mate, stop doing it. Everyone needs to stop betting Robocop sub. I don't understand what the public fascination is with betting these losing bets, Twitter and whatnot, just so they can be the first ones to say, "Oh, I was there when Robocop finally hit a sub." I don't understand it, but anyway. Doesn't this Rodolfo line feel a bit crazy, Steve? Yeah, look, honestly, I haven't done any tape as of yet, but I know everyone on this card extremely well, right? It's a pay-per-view. I've been watching UFC since 2009. I haven't missed an event, and plus I gamble on him, so I keep taping him over and over again. But yes, Rodolfo Vieira, I played him against Tresean Gore last time, and I doubled down with a live bet. The guy has underrated striking, nice jab, nice 1-2. And yeah, I mean, I don't really know why is Bo Nickel. He got fraud checked by Rene de Rita, and that's just a different style matchup. He might have chin issues, we don't know. He definitely had IQ issues. He did some stupid stuff. He went for a guillotine on Rene de Rita, a guy that's never been submitted. The guy grappled with Galvao in ONE FC in a pure jiu-jitsu match, and he didn't get submitted. And he tried for a guillotine. That shows me that the moment got to him a little bit. It's good to have that first L, that first loss. It's probably the best thing to happen to these fighters, these prospects. But, I mean, Paul Craig, really underwhelming performance. Cody Brundage, underwhelming. Well, Woodburn and Jamie Pickett, useless fights. So, Rodolfo can probably stick and move. But so can Bo. Bo is faster. Tresean Gore was a good performance. So, basically, Rodolfo probably won't take Bo Nickel down. So, this is going to be a striking fight. And it's probably competitive. That's where I'm at. So, I'm leaning right off the bat. I'm leaning some overs. I would love like a 1.5 rounds at Pick'em. Bo Nickel minus $1.44. Let me see if I have a total on this fight. Yeah, so wow, okay, here we go. So the over 1.5 rounds is $2. Now Rodolfo Vieira is very durable, and Yeah, I don't think he's submitting Bo Nickel. And yeah, that's interesting. I'm leaning the over 1.5. As someone in the chat just said, let me whip it up. Richard V. Bo Nickel is afraid to grapple with BJ specialists and his striking sucks. So yeah, I don't think he's afraid because he grappled with Rene de Rita and fighting the way he fought against Paul Craig. That's smart. That's smart IQ. You know, jumping into Paul Craig's guard is like literally the one way he can beat you, no matter who you are. So I thought that was smart. And he 30-27 Paul Craig without getting out of the first gear. But in this one, obviously Rodolfo's a bit of a better striker. I don't know. I don't know if he'll be able to take Rodolfo down even if he wanted to. This is an interesting fight. The over 1.5. We might get there. We might get there, lads. Let me have a look. Yeah, the Rita got him there in under 1.5, but he swamped him. Cody Brundage went over 1.5 rounds. Yep, that's it, man. That could be the play here. And, you know, we see Rodolfo Vieira. He's just patient. He's patient in all his fights. Treshango, Petrosky, Armin Petrosian, that's like a layup. Cody Brundage almost got out of round over 1.5 rounds. Chris Curtis, Stolfitz, yeah, that's it. I might play that. All right. I doubt that line is still going to be pick plus money when it opens up on Bet Online. Alrighty. Gerald Meerschaert versus Carl Dawkins. This one's interesting. Carl Dawkins, massive favorite. Honestly, in my opinion, you know, Carl Dawkins is someone that could lose to a Gerald Meerschaert. Right, so the line's a bit crazy to me. Gerald Meerschaert, you know, just still getting fights. What is he on, like? He's lost the last 3, which is unfortunate. Got knocked out. Got beat by the Rita. Still beat Edmund. Still beat Ryan Barberena. Lost to Petrosky. Lost to Joe Pfeiffer. Yeah, it's the same old GM3. But if this turns into a grappling match, you know, Carl Dawkins is not amazing. He's nothing special. But he's always had some underrated pop in his punches. You know, so knocking out Pereira, yeah, that was crazy. I played some round 1 there. I know a lot of people got burnt on playing Pereira round 1. I just played round 1 because you never know in MMA. I've been doing this long enough. I've been burnt long enough. But yeah, this line is unplayable. It's just Carl Dawkins is not someone I would parlay. I think even GM3 could hurt Dawkins. Dawkins has chin issues. He got his chin broken by Eric Anders in the UFC and by Roman Dolidze, and then Eric Anders knocked him out again, and he got hurt on the regionals as well. So yeah, this is a dog or pass. Not touching it, I could completely see Dawkins knocking out GM3 again because anyone can in round 1. Literally anyone can. And I do have a total here as well. And this total is 1.5 rounds, $1.73. Which, why do we think that is? Right, because they think Carl Dawkins can knock him out. He knocked out Keenan Patrick in under 2 minutes. He knocked out Michelle Pereira in under 2 minutes. And then he went to 3 rounds with Sean Fallon. 3 or 4 rounds. 5 rounds with Greg Ellis. Knocked out his Robert Giedron guy who's a bum. Eric Anders knocked him out. Roman Dolidze knocked him out. He ran through Jamie Pickett in 1 round. Yeah, I don't know. I have to reevaluate the other 1.5 rounds. I mean, I'd rather just play Carl Dawkins round 1 KO, right? Gerald Meerschaert's probably going to submit him or finish him later in the fight. So, yeah, dog or pass. Not interested in anything at the moment. Angela Hill for Team McCline. Yeah, Angela Hill's a little bit washed now. She's finally losing these fights that she would have won a few years ago. She's 40. Yasmin Lucinda, that's 30-27, zero resistance. Almost lost to Caitlin Souza. Lost a clear 29-28 to Tabitha Ricci. Yeah, she's just, unfortunately, it's not the same girl that beat Denise Gomez, 2 years ago. She's lost a bit of oomph about her. For Team McCline, massive favorite. She was not looking amazing against Melissa Martinez and got a last-minute knockout. But she should win this. She's extremely talented, 25 years of age. Wouldn't parlay this stuff. Wouldn't parlay it at all. Let's move on. But gun to my head, maybe a cheeky play would be Fatima inside the distance, right? Because we're seeing Hill getting hurt now. We're seeing her get taken down easier than before. Fatima has a great ground and pound and great jiu-jitsu, so maybe she breaks her down the stretch. All right, Baisangur Sasakuya versus Eric Mekonico. They know what they're doing here. Baisangur Sasakuya is going to knock him out. Either round 1 or round 2, or maybe he's going to submit him. He's got, everything. This kid's good everywhere. I do think he's a little bit overrated, and we saw him get hurt badly by Eric Nolan, I think twice, and then he came back and finished him. But at the same time, he's only 24. His mental game is very strong. That's very important. A lot of these prospects are not mentally there. The bright lights get to them. But he's very cocky. He's mentally there, and this fight is not on short notice. All these fights were short notice, contender series, and turn around a week later. He's got a full camp, so if he doesn't run through Eric McConaughey, what the hell are we doing here? Right, Eric made it to decision against Cody Brundage somehow, but the guy's very chinny. Like, he's been knocked out 1, 2, 3. Pretty sure Brundage hurt him. I didn't retape that shit fight. Yeah. Bicengour should get him out of there. We do have a total here, or I do, and it's $1.62, which means getting close to minus 200. And he's got a couple of decisions. You would think so. You would think Bicengour will finish this guy on full camp. So maybe I just play some of his round 1s, round 2. But I don't know what's that going to pay. What's he at right now? Where is he? He's at nothing because we don't have odds. That's cool. Interesting that for pay-per-view, we don't have a lot of these odds. It's a little bit... You would already expect them to be out. Fatima round 3 hit like crack last night. Oh, mate. You're telling me I was going to pass the whole time, and then I forced it, and then I was kicking myself for forcing it. When that head kick hit out of nowhere, I was like, we got away with one, boys. We got away with one. I cashed big on Eric Live, but yeah, super shit fight. Good stuff, mate. I was sleeping through that one. I was not going to wake up early to watch that shit. Eric Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez, right? This is a rematch. The first time they fought, it was a split decision. And yeah, they're rematching now. Tracy Cortez, not a big fan of her, to be honest. Not a big fan of Erin either. Erin, I've been trying to fade Erin when everyone was glazing her on her way up, and finally got her with Manon Fior. She got away with it in a few of these fights, but first fight was a split decision. All I remember from that fight is Erin getting taken down by Tracy and then having an armbar for like 5 minutes, and Tracy just stacking her for 5 minutes till the whole round was over. And I think because of that, it was a split. The judges couldn't say it was the top time was more important or the fact that Tracy was in a deep armbar for Erin. So, yeah, that was 6 years ago. Erin was, what, 20? Her wrestling still sucks ass. Again, she barely beat Rose. She was lucky that was a 5-rounder. I'm pretty sure she was down 2-1 on the scorecards. She was actually, because I lied better. She won the last 2. This is a 3-rounder. My boy Pepe laid minus 200 on Erin. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that. He's not charging for picks. So, and, maybe he's right there, but, I'll have to reevaluate. Tracy Cortez, the last girl to beat Yasmin, just vicious, and she did it convincingly. She looked really good versus Viviane Araújo as well, right? I know a lot of people were playing Araújo because the number was big, and she rinsed her. She did well, so we'll see. I'm not really rushing it. I'm going to move on, and we're not even going to look at the total because we know it's going to be a massive chalky over, like usual in female fights. All right, we're on to the main card, and this is where the sick fights start. Sean Brady, Michael Morales. I have no idea. This is Pick'em. I think Brady's taken a little bit of action. Michael Morales, extreme athletic freak. He's got a wrestling background from Ecuador, which we saw on the Contender Series. I played him there as a huge underdog with a lot of question marks. It wasn't a big bet. And he just started wrestling out of nowhere. And I was like, oh, wow. And the commentator's like, oh, that's right. He's got an Ecuadorian wrestling background. I was like, cool. Didn't see that in tape once. So extremely physical, has all the finishing KO upside, in my opinion. And I do think Sean Brady's a little bit chinny, a little bit hittable, but I don't know. I don't know how the grappling is going to look here. He fought Gilbert Burns, he fought Neil Magny, and he just knocked them both out before any grappling could take place. I do remember down here, Trevin Giles dropped him, I think, and he had him in an arm triangle choke, and then he reversed, and Adam Fuger would have taken him down a couple of times. So, yeah, those are the fights we have to rewatch. But honestly, Sean Brady, he's looked amazing against Leon Edwards, whatever. That was a generational play, and we'll speak about Leon Edwards soon enough. Gilbert Burns as well, another wash guy. Yeah, Kevin Gastelum knocked out. Yeah, for me, honestly, I think it's Michael Morales or pass. And might as well play KO. I can't get Brady getting KO'd by Bilal out of my head. Got all this takedown stuff too. Yeah, Bilal is an intelligent fighter, a really intelligent fighter. Malcolm Morales, I think Malcolm Morales is leveling up too, man. He hits like a truck. So I think he's going to give Sean Brady fits on the feet, like 7-inch reach advantage, 6 foot versus 5'10". I feel like it's taller than that. Yeah, he's going to hate it. Sean Brady's going to hate it. So we'll see. Great fight. Potentially the next contender for the belt. Alrighty. Beneil Dariush, Benoit Saint-Denis. Wow, so Benoit Saint-Denis is minus 200. Last time he was minus 200 against the chinny veteran. It was Moicano, and Moicano rinsed him. One takedown, took it, just mauled him on the ground. I think the same thing could happen here. I still think Benoit Saint-Denis almost knocked out Moicano in round 2. But I do think, Benoit Saint-Denis says he didn't have a coach for those 3 fights. You could tell that he was very stupid. The way he was fighting, not much process, coming out throwing naked leg kicks against Moicano and instantly getting taken down when he should do everything in his power not to get taken down. And yeah, I think Dariush is obviously going to go for the same thing. I think Dariush might actually be more chinny than Moicano. Man, it's neck and neck. They had a fight, them two, and it was just like such a sad fight. Who's more washed? So yeah, I'm not laying minus 200 on Benoit Saint-Denis. Like, Beneil has fraud checked these up and comers many, many times as an underdog. It was one of the best underdogs in history. He was an underdog to Moicano. He was an underdog to Mateus Gamrot, a big one. But yeah, if anything, in this fight, I would personally play Benoit Saint-Denis KO. Right, he's not going to submit Dariush, and I don't think he's going to out-grapple him either. So Benoit Saint-Denis has good power, good pop, and he should do here what he should have done against Moicano if he fights smart. So yeah, not advocating for minus 200, but do we have a total here? Let me have a look on my little bookie. No, we don't. Don't even have these odds on my book. Just on Bet Online, but yeah, minus 200. Let's move on. Do you think Dariush chin is going? He's gone. He's got dropped at mate. His chin was gone like 7 years ago. Beneil Dariush is beyond washed. So hence why I like the KO. Alrighty. Leon Edwards, Carlos Prates. I have first bet and only bet. I have 2 units on Prates, right? Minus 200. I was just going to leave one, and then I'm like, no, this line is going to go. Just lock into 2 units to win a unit, a little bit more than 2 units to win a unit. Like, basically, last chance to fade Leon Edwards. He's 34. He's out the door. I faded him with Bilal. I faded him with Sean Brady at chalk. Like, this guy is not it. Like, very lucky to win that title with a head kick when he was getting rinsed by Kamaru Usman. Like, and essentially, he's an athletic fighter. He's well-rounded, but there's something wrong with him mentally. And in my opinion, I think it's an easier matchup than Jeff Neal. Yes, Leon Edwards is higher ranked. He had the belt, but Jeff Neal is more durable, just more athletic, more power, better cardio, mentally strong, and Carlos Prates put him out, man. Who has put out Jeff Neal like that? Prates kills guys that have never been killed. Jingling Lee ran through Radke, right? Ran through Neil Magny. So crazy that people thought the fight was fixed. And I think personally, the Ian Machado Gary fight, the lights were too bright for him, and he basically didn't do anything for 5 rounds. And when he finally did, he almost knocked out Ian Gary. I think that was also a good loss for him. The monkey's off the back, he's not this undefeated prospect. He lost the fight. He seems more relaxed now. This whole fighting nerds, his hype is gone and less pressure on him all. So yeah, basically not overthinking it. Prates probably knocks him out at some point. He might be competitive early, but you got to remember, Nate Diaz landed a 1-2 on Leon. He almost knocked him out. So I think Carlos, 2 units minus 200, and I might even go some KO if I'm greedy. I mean, in what universe does Prates knock everyone else out other than Leon Edwards? Yeah, it should be. Yeah, easy peasy. Alrighty, Valentina Shevchenko, Bailey Zhang, 5-round title fight. It's a bit crazy that everyone is getting like a chance at to be a double division champ. Like 2 guys on this card, it's a bit annoying. Like, I remember back in the day, Anderson Silva would just beat everyone. He would go up, and he wouldn't. You could argue that he should get a title shot at light heavyweight, because he cleared out the division, and they would just give him like random guys just to beat, and they wouldn't even let him come close. He would knock out Forrest Griffin, and they still wouldn't give him a light heavyweight title shot. It's like, no, you have a division in middleweight to clear out, and he cleared it out twice. So now it's like you win, you defend your title a couple times, and they give you a shot. And honestly, I feel like if people like Islam and Khabib stuck around as long as Anderson Silva, they would lose their title. Like, it's Islam has just like beat Volkanovski twice, a featherweight, Dustin Poirier, Nato Moicano, Charles Oliveira is his best win, and then he moved up. Hasn't fought Gaethje, hasn't fought, like, to be honest, lightweight doesn't have anyone that can beat him, but it's just like, clear out the division first, man, properly. It's annoying. Anyway, this fight, pick and fight, I don't really know. I mean, I'm kind of leaning Valentina. There should be some physicality edge there. She just beat Manon Fior, who I honestly thought had the best chance to do it. Huge physical chick. But Valentina just too good of a striker. Busted up her nose. If you're just going to spam side kicks, you're going to get caught out. And Weili Zhang is also hittable. Now, Weili Zhang wins a lot of these fights by mauling these girls, wrestling him, taking him to the ground. She went out wrestle Tatiana, who's beyond washed. I don't know. Will she be able to do that to Shevchenko? I don't think so. So it's an interesting fight. And even these fights, for Weili Zhang, these title defenses, washed Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Carla Esparza, whatever, one of the worst champions. Amanda Lemos, really bad bottom game. Same as Zhao Yang. Tatiana Suarez came in just like a boyfriend patchy mix. Yeah, I don't know. I'm leaning Valentina personally. Alrighty. And the main event, Jack Taylor versus Islam Makhachev. Honestly, I'm leaning Jack Taylor. I don't think it's smart to parlay Islam, and I will parlay people, but yeah, Jack Taylor, man, this guy just keeps on improving. I've been betting him since day one, since the Contender Series. Do just so many fights, one after another. I had a huge bet on him versus Gilbert Burns. I had a decent sized bet versus Ramazan Amir at Pick'em, closed like minus 200. Danny Roberts finished props, just absolute moneymaker. And then I bet him against Bilal Muhammad as a decent sized underdog too. So, Islam is the one that's moving up. The one issue in Jack Taylor's game was grappling. We've seen it against Burns, we've seen it against Bilal, and he's just getting better, man. He's not even 30. Right, this guy's leveling up from fight to fight, and he's got Craig Jones in his corner. He's been grappling a lot. Craig Jones just knows everything about Islam. Trained, walked twice, and when you look at Islam's career, man, just a couple really underwhelming fights. Volkanovski the first time, Dustin Poirier, that was a back and forth fight. He looked a bit off in that one, like he had staff, but yeah, just a few underwhelming fights. How will he react at welterweight? He's probably cutting a lot of weight. It should be good for him, but a lot of these guys that move up, they already have bad cardio. Moving up in weight doesn't help. They're just still a little bit gassy. So I don't know. We'll see. It's a dog or pass. I'm not laying this kind of chalk on Islam, on a guy that has power, punching power, and he's not small or chinny like Volkanovski. So I think Jack is better than Poirier as well. Jack is way better than Poirier. So it's got to be clear dog or pass. There's no question about it. Alrighty, that's it. If you stuck around, let's do some KSW if you're keen. Let me know. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to use Bet365 because Bet365 is actually better than Topology. They update their fights before anything else does. Hugo Du versus Kava. Kava is, just give me a little reminder. This guy barely has any tape. He's fought in KSW debut, and I can't find that fight. He fought a bum. He's not the best fighter, and Hugo is an underdog. Right? Hugo, he's like a physical French grappler. He did get fraud checked by this Breeze guy, but he won back-to-back fights. This Blizzard fight is not the best, but this Gino Venstinis guy, who's in PFL now, that was a decent win. So, yeah, this is a clear dog or pass. So I'm going to look into Hugo Du ASAP, plus 140 on Bet365 right now. All right, Matsei Kazetsko versus Adam Masayev. I just never seen Masayev. He's taking this fight on short notice, but I wiki capped him, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good bet. But the bookies are onto it. Masayev is $1.44. Yeah, I think this might say Kosciuszko is a bit chinny, he's a bit washed. This Messiah guy probably runs through him, but $1.44, I don't know. Maybe he's worth the money, but we'll see. Krzysztof Kozubowski versus David Kuzmaski. Let me just have a reminder of Kuzmaski, a 23-year-old. Oh, that's right. Yeah, this kid's not the best either. He's a bit green. Barely beat this Marko Guzik dude with split decision. This Christian dude is literally the biggest ape ever. He brawls and he's also chinny, but he's got some good wins. Beat Mateusz Juracek in his last one. He's really been beaten by anyone good. Pietrek, Henry Felipe, these are bad fighters. So what's this line? This line's probably pick 'em, right? Christian's a favorite. Yeah, that makes sense, but this is a. I don't even have to tape this one. I know it's going to be a clear pass. I know these KSW fighters well, and I know I'm not going to be interested. All right, let's move on. So the viewership hasn't dropped yet, so people are keen for KSW. Cedric Lashima versus Janusz. Yeah, this Cedric guy made his debut in his last fight, got ran through by Damien. Damien's basically a contender. Yeah, there's not much to go. He's finishing all these bums. It seems like they're giving him another bum. This guy, Wojciech Janusz, 35-year-old. But he's got okay wins, and he won his KSW debut, so don't know. Tough. Alexei Polishuk versus Camille. Polishuk's a good fighter. He's minus 200. I don't know how I feel about that. He's got an elite guard. He's got decent power. But the thing is, he can get top time. I've been playing him. I've been laying his chalk, against this Islam. He was minus 200 short notice. Minus 120, actually. Labes submits him too. Martins, I actually faded him there, and Martins got knocked out. But I played him against Felipe Marcek. He's got insane guard game. But this Camille guy will take him down and he will top time him. And if he doesn't submit him, it will look bad, especially at minus 200. So I need to kind of evaluate. He got fraud checked by my boy Milan Zdravkovic. This is the best Serbian guy, hands down. This guy's UFC ready right now. The UFC needs to sign him. The guy is 9-0, all finishes pretty much, submissions and KOs. But anyway, this is. I don't want to say dog or pass, but I need to make sure Camille can avoid the guard before I play him. All right, Valery Messia versus Roman Szymanski. This is like the third time these guys have fought, but I have a feeling this fight might be off. Let me just have a look. Let me go on Bet365. That's right. So Valery Messia, the Wolfman, is actually fighting Vince Morella. So Morella is a striker. He just beat Marian Zolovsky, who we'll talk about, for the title. Vacant title, Marian. So this is an interesting fight. So the Wolfman, this is who he's fighting. Wilson Morella, and I've been playing this guy every chance I get. He was a $3 underdog to Marian Zolovsky, and he beat him via dislocated shoulder in round 2. And then he knocked out Sebastian Rajevsky in 16 seconds. I think that was a pick and fight. He was a dog against this Gracian dude, so he's been great to me. He got knocked out by Saladin Panais, but that's going to happen. So yeah, he's an underdog to the Wolfman, and honestly, it's a dog or pass, man. Valery's a little bit chinny. He's a little bit chinny, and he got knocked out by Saladin Panais in the first round. Yeah, dog or pass. Dog or pass. Some tape will be done. Alrighty. Marcin Held versus Marian Zolovsky. Just spoke about Zolovsky, ex-champion. Had some rough issues with injuries and whatnot. Like, he's 35. He had to vacate his title, and then he came back against Vince Varela and dislocated his shoulder. And then they gave him a title shot against Saladin Panais because, he never lost his title, and he got ground and pounded in round 2. So he's a bit old. Most of his prime is gone. He lost to Mateusz Gamrot back in the day too. So yeah, I think basically he's a favorite here. He's a favorite, and he's very washed. And I think Marcin Held can beat him. The main thing with Marcin is his takedown defense. That's how Mateusz Gamrot rinsed him for 5 rounds. And others have taken him down too. And I bet him big against Boris Mankovsky right here. Right, it was a 5-rounder. It was minus 200. And that's because Mankovsky was basically retiring too. And he won like 3-2. He dropped 2 rounds to this guy. So I think Marcin held. Man, this is sticking out to me. Marcin could submit him. He could top time him. Yeah, that's one that's sticking out heaps. All right, Thomas Romanovsky versus Alan Van der Beek. Romanovsky, the Polish Tyson, little small dude, could really be a welterweight, packs a punch. Yeah, this is a cool, interesting fight. He basically has a really bad ground game, but this Alden Veldmix top boy is quite chinny. So, again, if he gets him down to the ground, Thomas is 36. He's suffered a few knockouts, a few beatings. Dog will pass again, man. I'm going to look into this fight right here for Alan Van der Beek. Like, he got knocked out by Lade, but I think Lade hits a lot harder than Thomas, and he's bigger. So yeah, another one. These top 3-4 fights are really sticking out to me on the main card from a betting perspective. And Patrick Kuzmatsky versus Adam Soldayev. I've bet both these guys before. Patrick, young prospect. Adam Soldayev as well, another young prospect. Patrick is weak to the body. Adam has beautiful striking, man. This Adam Soldayev, beautiful pull counters. He just killed Leon Breachta with a nice hook. He killed Damian Stasiak with a brutal punch as well. I played him there as an underdog. So, yeah, he's a slight favorite. I lean him, but I don't know if there's any value. Like, Patrick's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. He's just a little bit weak to the body. So, he got knocked out with a body kick twice. So, I need to watch his fight with Ahmed Villa. He went to a decision. Not the best win. I want to see if it's kind of competitive. If he hasn't separated, I might even lay the chalk on Adam Soldayev. So, yeah, that's where we're at. So that's it. Thanks for listening. Right, almost an hour. It's a big one. I wanted to do a big one. Right, in terms of quick overall, what's sticking out to me? Well, not much, man. Gregory Rodriguez and the under. The Rodolfo Vieira over for sure. Sasukaev under for sure. Morales, I reckon he's the side in this fight. I have 2 units on Prates and Jack Del Madalena. Maybe play some handicap. I don't think he's getting submitted by Islam. And then on the KSW, the top 1, 2, 3, 4 fights, and pretty much all dogs. And maybe Adam Soldayev is a favorite. So, yeah, I'm feeling 2K. I'm feeling 2K or close to 2K minimum between all the regionals. And we have LFA, we have Cage Warriors. So, lock in, lads. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you for listening.